Who are the nicest characters and who are the meanest in The Rookie? Trust me, the meanest one will remind you why you hated them in the first place. So, without further ado, let's starting off with Doug Stanton. Doug Stanton came into The Rookie as Jackson West's new training officer. At first, he looked like any other cop with a family and a clean record.
These personnel shifts and rule changes make it harder for good cops to do the job.
But soon his real face came out. Stanton had a toxic habit of judging people only by their skin color. He had a pro-racist mentality. He kept pulling over black and brown people, calling them gang members and troublemakers without any proof. His rookie Jackson saw it all and tried to hold his ground because he was also his victim. Things reached their peak when West was ambushed and beaten by thugs. Stanton was right there. He could have stepped in. Instead, he turned back and just walked off, leaving his rookie to suffer. He later acted clueless, but the body cam caught the truth.
Where you are, look, you guys do not want to do this. Look, stop where you are.
That moment showed everyone the real face of Stanton. He was not a mentor or a protector, but a man full of toxic pride and hate. His name became a symbol of betrayal. Jackson West. Jackson West stands as one of the nicest characters on The Rookie.
Just a little nervous. I'm assuming that's normal, yeah?
Oh, totally. But there's no pressure, we're just talking.
Okay.
From the very beginning, he was the most relatable out of all the rookies. Other rookies ran straight into danger, but Jackson did not. When he heard gunshots, he froze. That felt real to people because this is how a normal human reacts to these kinds of things. He was not born brave. He was learning things during the job. Season 1 showed his heart and emotions, and people relate with him. What truly set Jackson apart was his bravery in Season 3. He risked his own safety to expose Doug Stanton, who abused his power. This was no small act. Standing up to his superior officers showed how much Jackson had grown since the pilot. He went from a rookie scared of gunfire to a man willing to fight for justice, even when the cost was his own life. Monica Stevens. Monica Stevens is the kind of character who walks into the story and instantly leaves chaos behind. At first, she was just Wesley Evers' ex-fiance and a sharp lawyer.
I know no such thing. You just can't admit that I'm out arguing you.
Yes, if you ignore the truth.
Wesley, let it go.
But soon her darker side started showing. She defended criminals like Elijah Stone and kept playing both sides of the law. Even when she was threatened, Monica never backed down. She turned every situation in her favor and always came up with a new plan to stay 2 steps ahead in the game. Her games only got worse with time. She lied to the LAPD, double-crossed deals, and even killed her own attacker in cold blood while pretending to be a victim. From making shady bargains with Oscar Hutchinson to arranging kidnappings and running criminal schemes across borders, Monica proved she was as dangerous as any villain on the streets. At that point, she was not what a lawyer meant to be. She was fugitive, fearless, and mean to the core. Wesley Evers. Wesley Evers entered the show in Season 1 and quickly became more than just Angela Lopez's love interest. Wesley was different from the rest because he wasn't a cop.
I know, because you're afraid of me.
Because I'm in love with you.
But his voice still mattered the most in the story. As a defense lawyer, he kept reminding everyone that justice was more than just catching bad people.
Hello?
Hey, counselor. Harrison Novak. You helped me out of a jam a few years ago?
Of course.
It was also about making sure the accused got their rights. He gave the show a balance that made it richer and more real. When Angela was kidnapped before their wedding, Wesley showed how far he was willing to go for the people he loved. That moment changed his path, and he later became a prosecutor. While this shift made him different, it did not take away his core. He was the moral voice of the show, always standing for fairness, calling out wrongs, and pushing for change when it came to the system. Wesley proved that being nice could also mean being strong. Seth Ridley. Seth Ridley looked like a normal rookie at first, but soon his lies started to show.
Are we doing this now?
High-stakes situations are exactly when rookies forget their own names.
Okay.
I need to know that you can focus when things get real.
Right, well...
He made stories that were not true, made excuses for every mistake, and even claimed he had cancer to hide the fact that he was failing at the job. He wanted people to see him as brave and loyal, but most of his stories were built on lies. Even people around him wanted to trust him, but he kept playing with their trust again and again. His lies went too far. He fooled his team, his seniors, and even Tamara, who cared about him. He acted like he was brave and honest, but it was all fake. He was not trying to protect others, he was only trying to protect himself. In the end, the truth came out and everyone saw who he really was. Ridley was not just weak at his job, he was a liar who used people and left nothing but broken trust behind. Nyla Harper. Season 2, and at first many people were unsure about her. Fans had already grown attached to Talia Bishop, so it was not easy to see someone new take that place. But as time passed, Nyla proved her value.
Sure, but using her past against her makes me just as bad as Donovan.
Her connection with Nolan and the way her story played out added something fresh to the show and gave it more depth. She slowly turned into one of the strongest and most respected characters. Her years working undercover left a clear mark on her. The stress of constantly hanging danger changed her in many ways. Even after all that, she still chose to come back to patrol, which showed her courage and strength. Nyla became the picture of female power on the show. She became a mentor for Lucy and inspired women who work undercover in a seminar. Malvado. Malvado was not just another criminal, he was the kind of name people whispered about like a ghost.
You're a wanted man. I should call 911.
Go ahead. Have me arrested.
Detectives call him a boogeyman. In the underworld, he was known as the man you never crossed, because if he came after you, it was already over. For years, he slipped through the hands of the police, leaving a trail of blood and fear behind him. When he finally came to Los Angeles, he hunted Jason Weiler without mercy. He beat a man for answers and shot at officers who tried to stop him. What made Malvado even more dangerous was his mind. He was clever, patient, and always one step ahead. Even when Nolan caught him, Malvado found a way to break free. He toyed with cops, stalked Bailey, and carried out cold-blooded hits like it was nothing. In the end, his reign ended with Angela Lopez's bullet, but until that moment, he was pure terror. Tim Bradford. Tim Bradford started off as one of the hardest people to like. He was strict, cold, and rough with everyone. But as the show went on, his tough side slowly broke down. With every passing episode, layers of his personality started to come through.
Hey. How much do you trust the LAPD background checks?
I'm sorry, why are you at my door asking me that?
Fans began to see his pain and struggles, and that made him easier to understand. It turned him from a harsh officer into one of the most loved characters. Tim has many sides. He can be tough one moment and caring the next. He has grown a lot, not just as a cop, but as a person too. His bond with Lucy has become a favorite part of the show, full of small romantic moments that mean a lot. Even now, there are parts of his past that fans have not seen, and learning more about that would make his story even stronger. Jason Weiler. Jason Weiler was one of the meanest men on The Rookie. He was Bailey's ex-husband, and instead of moving on, he made her life a nightmare. When she refused to accept him back in her life, he tried to destroy her by putting drugs in her car. From that moment, it was clear he was full of hate and spite.
Get out.
Oh, come on. I told you they're trying to frame me.
Jason worked with gangs, made shady deals, and only thought about saving himself. He never cared about right or wrong, only about getting what he wanted. Even in prison, he did not change. He escaped and came back to Los Angeles, ready to hurt Bailey again. He even tried to kidnap her, showing just how cruel and obsessed he was. But like most people who live by hate, he didn't last. Malvado found him and shot him, ending his story in the same ugly way he lived it. Who do you think is the absolute nicest or meanest? Tell us in the comments section. And yes, subscribe to our channel so you don't miss the upcoming recaps.